Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is part two of the Black Panther figures, and you would have seen Black Panther and Eric Killmonger amongst others being posed out. I had Eric Killmonger Black Panther in combat poses with Prince T'Challa Black Panther, and in the past I did do these figures before. Suri Black Panther and Namor, aka Kukulkan Khan. But as I said in the past, the camera wasn't too brilliant and the definition was a bit naff. So we're going to do the whole thing again. I'm going to revisit some poses and see how we got on with it today. So I'll come in close on Suri Black Panther. And I've got all of these figures a couple of years ago when the films came out. And I got them at a bargain, so I'm happy with that. But the posing of these figures is really good, and I do like a lot of the quality and the detail on these figures, as you can see. And she's got her fighting fists in. So we'll come up to Namor, also known as Kukulkan Khan, and I posed him last time without a flight stand, but we do see him in the film flying through the air, so I thought I'd create that dynamic. And the likeness to the actor who portrays him is there. I do like him. So at the moment he's got a fighting fist in and a gripping hand for that lance. Now, as I said before, my Namor from the comics, he had the face of Mr. Spock. So if you're a Star Trek fan, you would know who Mr. Spock is. And then he had a trident, but I believe that the guys making the movie thought the trident was a bit too close to the Aquaman look, so they went with this. So we're going to see him posed out first, then we're going to get the two of them together. So let's change out his hands and see what we can come up with. Let's just get the camera angle right. Okay, let's start. So we're coming close on Namor first. We're not going to change Black Panther at the moment, and that's the hand I put in. Kind of a bit like the hands you get with Superman figures. The Christopher Reeve has a couple of these, and he's got another one to go in, so you'll see that in a sec. But it's not a bad figure, and you know me, he was a bargain, so I bought him. But the film itself, unfortunately the actor Chadwick Boseman died, was pretty much a tribute to him. So I wasn't expecting very much from it. It has some good points, some good qualities. But overall, this guy, I'd have wished he'd have been like the comic book Namor, but they had to go for this guy for the reasons I stated earlier. And I just come down on his feet because he does have the wings, as you can see, on the ankles. And the best part of the film for me really was when he battled Suri Black Panther there. So let's change out the gripping hand for the lance and see what that dynamic looks like. So I've kind of changed him to slightly sideways on, just to get the angle of the two hands in shot. And as I said before, they look a bit like the hands you would get with Superman flight hands. Never tried him in a flight mode. I'm going to have a go at it now just to see what that looks like. But overall, it's not a bad pose. I'm doing this for the first time with this figure on a flight stand, so it could be hit and miss. So I'll pull back and see what he's like in flight mode, or even horizontal mode. Let's go for it. So I've had a go at it. It's an average one for me. It's kind of in the ballpark, as I call it. But to get him proper horizontal, as I would call it, it's a combination of getting the right angle on the flight stand. But it's not bad for a first attempt. I'm going to push his arms behind him just to see what that looks like on camera. but I'm not displeased with it, but I like to try and improve on these sort of things. So let's come down to Black Panther, and I've just changed her over onto the side, and let's come back, and that's not bad overall. So let's push his arms behind him and see what that looks like. So this isn't too bad. I like them both really. It's all fun to me. Yeah, I think it's not too bad. Just needs tweaking. What I might do is leave one of those hands in and put in a fighting fist, just to see what that looks like on camera. So let's have a go at that one. Okay, trying this one now. Put the fighting fist in. Not too bad. I'm due next month to pick up about 10 flight stands, because one of the reasons why is because I have these figures like this one just standing on a platform. They've got some good poses, but I do think some of these figures now need to be on flight stands so you can improve the dynamics in your display. It's just having the head height for them, but at the end of the day I'll work that problem out when I cross it. So what I think I'll do is I'll do one more on the flight stand, and I'll get these two together in compact mode. So, excuse me, so he's in a more horizontal pose there. Not horizontal, it wouldn't be horizontal. You know what I mean. Not too bad, quite basic. But what I'm going to do now, because I will be posing him with the lance, or it should have been a trident. I was going to put a trident in his hand today, but I won't. I'll just put him with the weapon he came with. Let's get a close up on that face, because it is a good sculpt, it's good likeness. I'll put him with the lance and start him off in the combat poses, so I'll take him off to the flight stand after that. Okay, let's move it on. So this is the final one, kind of sideways on. I think out of all of them, this is the one I kind of like. Let's go from that angle and coming close. Not too bad. And move it around. Yeah, that's a better one. But I could go for hours doing things like this, but it's always good to have a go. That's not too bad. So what I'll do is I'll put him off the flight stand now to face Black Panther, aka Suri. Let's go back to Black Panther, close up. Nice figure. I got a black light off my friend the other day, and on my figures you can see them glow at night, and I thought this one might. It does kind of, but I think that's more by accident than being deliberate. But at the end of the day, let's start these two off in combat mode and see how we get on. That's not too bad from there. Okay, no more faffing about. Let's start the combat poses. So here's the first one now, squaring up to each other. They don't have foot stands, so I'm going to be doing some kind of what I call dicey posing, because they've got very narrow feet, especially Black Panther there. It's going to have to be a question of finding the right balance. But if they topple over, I'll apologise, but if they don't, I'll be ecstatic. So just getting some angle shots, and these two do look good together when you pose them, because of course they do fight each other in Wakanda forever. But I'm going to do a pose for Black Panther that I did before, and I'll see if it works. It worked when I did it at the time, but it's one of those ones where it could go wrong. So we'll see what happens. Thought I'd get in on the one knee pose first, because the one I was trying to go for was playing me up, but I will get there. Let's come round to the other side. That's not a bad dynamic or angle shot. Let's come round to the other side and look over the shoulder of Namor. That's not too bad. And let's see if I can get that pose that's evading me. I will not quit. So here's the pose, but it's not the pose I wanted you guys to see. I have achieved that pose without that foot stand, but some days you just got to know when to bite the bullet. But that's the overall effect anyway. So Namor is surprised by that martial arts kick. I'll come in close and just see what that looks like. It's not bad. It would have been better if I didn't have that going on, but I couldn't be asked to keep fiddling with it. But I have achieved it, and that's not bad either. What I'm going to do now is change out the fighting fists and bring in the claw hands to show you what that looks like. So this was a quick one really. I just got the claw hands in, and when you put these hands in there you begin to see the more cat-like characteristics of the figure. But I'm going to get it back onto 2 feet because this hasn't gone that brilliantly for me, because I wanted to do it without the foot stand. But we're going to have some contact poses coming in now, just to see what that looks like. So we're going to revisit an old pose I did with these two, and let's see if it's as good as I remember. Not quite the dynamic I remember, but it's kind of what I tried to achieve last time I did this pose. And he's got that lance across the neck of Black Panther. She's trying to reach for it with that hand to try and get out of the grip. But it's kind of in the ballpark. I'll tweak it and see what that looks like. Let's try and improve on that. So I've kind of widened Namor's stance a little bit, and I've changed her legs out slightly. It's a better pose for me. Got his head tilting upwards. You could put into your imagination, anything could be going on. Could be in the heat of battle. He's seeing in the distance his own people fighting the Wakandans. And it's not bad. And it's not a big lot of space you need to take up for this pose, so you could put this back in your display and it makes it more interesting. Well, that's the way I look at it anyway. So let's try and tweak this one more time, and then we'll change the dynamics. Let's go. Okay, this is the last one with these two in this pose. This is a slightly square on shot, and it's not too bad. But I'm trying to also show you how they can be interacting like this and creating movement at the same time. And I quite like the way it looks on camera. But let's turn the tables on Kukulkan, aka Namor. So I did try this at one time, and he was standing up, but he was getting too fiddly. I'm going to have a go at it, but I thought I'd get him on one knee just to demonstrate kind of the ballpark I was trying to get into, and also show the flexibility of Black Panther around the neck of Namor. It's not the best one, but I'm going to try and get him to stand up and do this same sort of pose. If not, I'll have to put a foot stand on him. So let's try that one. Yeah, I had to put a foot stand on him. When things went well, this could be achieved without the foot stand. I'll put a head facing camera, but I'm going to tilt it down now to get the entire effect and the correct pose I'm looking at, because it's not what she'd be doing if she was fighting him. She would be looking down at him, so I'll do that now. So her head is down now, so that's kind of the effect I'm trying to go for. Coming close. I'm going to try another one. I'll put Namor back on one knee and try another one, see what that looks like. Yeah, this one was proper fiddly, but I kind of got it the way I want it to look. She's got her hand trying to grip his head, looking down at him. I'm going to change out that hand there for a fighting fist. But I'm going to get that hand clamped down on his head. It's not quite there. It's been fiddly today. So that's a little bit better. Yeah, that's more contact in the ballpark. I'm going to change out the other hand for a fighting fist. Yeah, I decided to bring her from behind Namor's body and have her at the side there. I got the other fighting fist instead of the other one I was going to go for, but it's not too bad. Let's come around this side. Right, I've got two more in my head and then we're going to wind it down. So that's pretty close quarters now. She's just punched him on the face, head's gone to one side, and he's on one knee. So let's get another angle. Okay, right. I think there are just two more poses I'm going to try, and then we're going to call it a day. I've never tried this one, but it was in my head. It's not quite how I imagined. I'm going to tweak it. Namor has been defeated, as he was in the film, and she's got that fist ready to deliver a deadly blow. But I'm going to tweak it because it's still not quite there for me. But what I've done is he's tried to raise his hand and she's gripped it to stop him trying to get up. But I'm going to tweak it because it's almost there. I was going down another road, but then this come up, so I thought I'd put it in. She's grabbed that lance and she's got the claw hand in. But what I'm going to do is something I see in my head, but whether it looks right on camera, I don't know. So we'll try it. So this is the one I've been trying to get, and I didn't know if it would work, but it has in my opinion. So this is Shuri, aka Black Panther, defeating Namor, looking up. And I quite like that cat-like look. The claws are on the face and on the abdomen, and instead of killing him, she spared his life. And that's what happened in the film. She had a vision of her mother, in which her mother said, "Shuri, show them who we are." And that's what she did. She spared his life, made peace with him, and set it up for the future story in which Namor knows war is coming, but for now he's returned to the sea and is going to keep the truce and live in peace. So I'm just getting some angle shots because this is the last pose, and quite like the way it comes across. So the other video, which showed Eric Killmonger and Black Panther fighting, obviously it was a fight to the death, but she's not quite the Black Panther that he is, and seeks to preserve life if necessary and keep peace, even though she's lost her mother. So that is a nice dynamic. And I think with the other action poses I've tried to show you today, it's all been about having a bit of fun, showing you that you don't need a lot of room to create these poses. But on the first bit of footage, there were some other figures there that I showed you that I wouldn't mind doing some poses with, but it was just Eric Killmonger and Prince T'Challa, and today it's Suri and Namor, aka Koko Khan. So on that note, I'll wind it down. I'll take it back to that pose. I'll come in close on ground level and say thanks for watching the channel, and I'll see you again next time. In fact, what I'll do is I'll come right back, because that looks quite good. But then again, it does look quite good close up, so let's leave it on that shot. See you again soon.